Welcome back, everybody. We're just going to jump right in and get started here. You can see my brother and I sitting there discussing how we're going to do the roof sheathing. My wife and my brother's wife are working on headers. Kids are running about, dogs running about. We're basically all over the place, all doing something different, trying to make the final push here to get all the framing in so we could start on the sheathing. Here we had Jack raise up the sheathing up high so me and my brother could get up there and just pull them off and attach them, so it'd be easier, so we didn't have to take them up on the lift. It went pretty fast that way. The little sparks that you see flying, Jack's down there grinding out the doorway. It was made a little small whenever they poured the foundation, so he's just cutting that away and grinding it down for us so that we can get the right size door put in there. So my brother and I up top installing more sheets. It went pretty quick once we got the hang of things, and then here switching the view around so you kind of see us in action. Yep, more framing for the garage doors here. Definitely was faster when we had everybody out there helping. Now it's just me, and occasionally Jack and Rachel and Mom and stuff whenever they're able to help. But it still went okay fast, I guess, by myself. I got the hang of it on that first door, and this next doors, we're just rinse and repeat of that. I had to take time down there at the bottom to cut off like an 18-inch piece of treated lumber because that was sitting flush on that concrete, and that just helps so that the moisture doesn't wick up into the non-treated lumber and rot it out. So it took some time to cut those pieces, get the slope correct, and then cut the rest of the jack studs to support that garage door header. My brother and I threw up the full sheets. Here I'm just coming around and finishing up with half sheets. I left them long and they'll get trimmed off whenever I make sure that the subfascia is all straight. We had a big rain event, so my daughter's just pushing out all the water. That's why we're trying to hurry and get the roof on so it doesn't happen again. And like I said, bringing up the track saw and a saw to line up where that peak is going to be and zipping through, cutting those off, just so I could start on the other side and not have them interfere with the sheets over there. So I didn't have Jack around, I don't think, to lift those sheets up here. And I hadn't figured out the telehandler at this point, so I'm doing them one at a time, and it got tiresome. So then I switched to finishing up more of the garage door framing, and it looks like Jack showed up there to finish up cutting out the other side, the other garage door, so I could eventually frame that one out as well. Looks like another weekend here. Got the family out there, Rachel and the kids. Installing that backside garage door. Same process. Install the king studs. Get those girts tacked on the sides to kind of hold it in place. Put in the jack stud. And then set the header on top and then nail everything together. Here's my first time driving the telehandler. I don't think Jack was out here, and I needed to get these sheets lifted up there so I can start working on the roof sheathing. So it took me a little bit to play around, get it in place, and learn the controls, but it's actually a lot easier than I expected it to be. So from here on out, when Jack's not around, I'm able to work the telehandler myself and make the job way easier. So some nice drone footage here, just to show progress on the roof. I didn't mention it before, but those black lines, the black horizontal and vertical lines, that's the zip tape. Basically, the zip sheathing is like a water-resistant barrier. The tape seals in all those edges so it sheds the water. You just lay it out. Got to take the rain into consideration, so do all the horizontal first, and then the verticals over the top of it so that the rain will just, travel down and not get stuck, and then shed off. I don't have that other side done yet, so there's no tape over there. Now I'm actually working on that other side there. I've got my harness and tether on. Rachel was really happy that I was actually using it here. It does make it a lot safer. It's just a pain in the ass. It's like it pulls on one direction, then I get used to it, so when I take it off, I'm overcompensating and leaning another direction, and it's just not fun, but it is a lot safer. And it is safer because here shortly I'm trying to set this sheet that kind of hangs off, and then whoop, there it goes. And then the look of disgust on my face. So then Rachel had just pulled in, so I had to come up there and kind of hold it for me as I was finished tacking that in place. And then she helped me do the ones that kind of hung off a little bit. And then I finished the rest myself. I think she had to go and pick up the kids here, so she left. But of course, towards the end, I figured out an easier way to do it. I would just take a nail and nail it partially through the corners, and then use that nail to kind of hold it on the purlin, so it wouldn't slide off until I could use the gun and nail it in. So that seemed to work a lot better for the rest of the roof.
Another great day, night here at the property. Worked more on the roof sheathing there. Rachel and I pretty much did all that work ourselves between yesterday, today, and a little bit on the weekend. Got to drive the telehandler, which was actually really easy to do, so I'm not worried about that thing anymore. And yeah, tomorrow we'll just keep trucking along.
Yep, kept trucking along. You can see here I used that nail trick and it held that in place perfectly. So you can see that they're alternated, they're staggered. That's just so that all the joints don't line up in the same spot. It kind of helps. Just honestly, I don't know why it helps. I just saw that that's the best way to do it. So that's how I did it. And then here I am just getting things ready to cut some sheets in half to work to install the half pieces. Rachel's helping me out here, talking and chatting, but also helping me out. It's taking a little bit of time. That's just because we're lining up 3 sheets at one time, getting them all, make sure they're all flush, so I could cut through 3 sheets at once to give us 6 pieces. It just went a lot faster that way instead of doing each an individual sheet. And here I am just installing those half sheets. I didn't realize that the sheets got turned around. My OCD is going to kill me now that I see that, but I try to keep the labeling the same all the way through, just one so it looks better. although this is going to be covered with metal roofing, you're not going to see it, but I care, and my OCD does. And now I'm up here measuring out. I'm taking a string line, chalk line, snapping a line, and then cutting off those tops.
All right, another awesome day here at its property. The sun's very, very bright right now. It's going down. But got all the roof sheathing done for the garage, minus just like trimming the like eaves parts here, as well as like the gable. I got to trim those edges to make them all straight, and then I could attach them and then tape them. Working on that last door frame inside the garage, and then moving on to the house roof. I'll see how tomorrow goes.
And some more drone footage. Gotta love drone footage. You can see how straight all the lines are and everything. It just looks really good from the top-down view. I definitely like seeing how everything is just straight. It makes me feel better about all my measurements and stuff. And back to more door framing. You can see Rachel in the background. She's filming for another video idea we have. Hopefully we can get that out soon. But here I'm just throwing up the king studs. I'm using that header down below as a spacer, as I talked about. And then I'm basically going to eat lunch, it looks like. I think Rachel is now measuring, cutting, and framing up some window frames for the house to be used later. She is definitely doing a lot of measuring and cutting and framing here for those windows. I think we have like 31 windows or something like that to frame up and frame the boxes up to help make it quicker. So yeah, it's a lot of cutting and stuff. I think here I am bringing in the scissor lift with the telehandler so I can start working on that second level of zip sheathing on the side there. And like most days or nights, whenever we can, we try and work until the sun goes down. So you can see it's starting to slowly get darker and darker as we're trying to get as much work as done as possible. Looks like another weekend. We got the whole family out there again. We're putting some more sheathing there on the sides, just trying to use up some spares that we have, just because there's that big garage door there. We don't need a full sheet hanging off. Rachel and Jack is working on some sheathing there on the side, and I believe we are going to work on the gable end. Some of that 2x8 kind of needs to go flat underneath those eave extensions there. Basically it allows the wall to tie in, or the sheathing to get tied in up there. Just provides structure for it. So me and my mom are up there, and Rachel looks like popped up there to hang that. And I just go through and hang that all the way across on both sides. We're mainly just trying to get all that gable end framing done so that we can fill in the rest with sheathing. So that includes the rest of the girts and the filler girts that go in there.
Another great day at the property. Started sheathing the side of the house there. Finished up with all the bracing here on the gable. Started up with the sheathing there and there. Tomorrow hopefully we can get all the sheathing on the sides of the garage. And then that'll be pretty much closed in and dried in. And then we can shift over to the house. We'll see how tomorrow goes.
More sheathing here on the side of the house. Again, the weekend, so whole family was out there helping out. Thing to note here is that you want to keep that zip sheathing about a 1/2 inch off of the cement or the concrete there. If it does not, if it overhangs it, if it's flush with the concrete, then you don't need to do that. But if ours kind of overhangs the concrete, so we had to keep it up there a 1/2 inch. Still going through, attaching them, trying to throw up as much as we can as quickly as possible. I think we leave that one spot there open just because we still have more to do on the house, and that'll just get done when we move over to the house. Here we go on the front side of the garage, doing the same thing, filling in the rest of the sheathing, and then we should move up towards the next row up, and then basically just fill in all the sides with the sheathing as quickly as possible. We were supposed to have a pretty big rain event coming through shortly after these days here, so we were trying to get up the sheathing as quickly as possible, get it fully sealed to try and block as much of that rain as possible. You can see that all the side, for most of the side sheathing there for the garage is done on this side. We just got those little half pieces up top to finish. Another day, more work to be done here. Rachel and my mom are putting in the sill plates there, doing all the caulking and just installing those, while in the background Jack and I are installing the rest of the sheathing on that gable end. Those first few pieces had some angles that we had to cut to match that 5/12 pitch. And that's what we're doing there, is just installing those ones with those cuts, and then we'll go up and install full sheets all the way across until we need to cut more of those angled pieces on the other side. Yeah, the kids are kind of zipping around here too. It's nice having them out there, kind of seeing how the house is built, so they could remember all the steps, hopefully, that we went through to get this house built for them. My son is wearing some random green outfit that he wanted to be a germ in, so that's why he's all bright green.
Yep, so another fantastic day at the property. It's a great weekend overall. We got a ton of that zip sheathing on the sides. Got a little garage door. Still need we'll go back with like a flush trim router bit and trim out the edges there. We've also got that window somewhere around in here that we'll take a router bit and cut out there. Just try to throw those up as quick as possible. We got some rain coming in this week, so we'll try to get it covered. But it's looking like a something. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. Well, tomorrow evening, since I got work. But yep.
Finishing up here on the gable end of that garage with some of those angled pieces. Those weren't tricky to cut, they were just time consuming. And then we got, the rest of the top is just all angled pieces, so cutting those, installing them is just time consuming. Here we're just using some scrap pieces that we had after those angled cuts, just because there's a garage door there and it's going to get cut out anyway. You can see how it ended up, and we're just continuing to throw those sheets up all the way across, and then some vertical ones there. Just more of the same, really. And like usual with having real work also, we're just working until we can't see anymore. Finishing up the last pieces of zip on the sides of the garage. Finally, it seemed like it took forever, but it was only a few days, I believe, of actual work. After these pieces are in, we're just going through with that tape, sort of how we did it on the roof, by taping up all the horizontals on all the sides, and then the verticals after the horizontals, just so that, you know, the rain will fall down and not get, you know, in between the cracks, etc. So that's just a lot of moving back and forth and taping. It was very monotonous, but it was nice seeing it when it was all done. We were cutting it pretty close to that rain event coming through, so we decided to throw up a tarp on the biggest door just to stop a lot of that rain from blowing through on the zip that's in the garage, and you can see that tarp there. But yeah, here's an overhead view of all the tape done. It's looking great. I love how it ended up to where that the lines from the sides kind of ended up in the middle on the lines of the roof. It was just kind of cool how the math worked out to be that way.
Another fantastic day out here at the property. The garage is pretty much sheathed, the roof, the sides, everything. We got that blue tarp up there just because we got some rain rolling in. Pretty good storms coming in, so hoping to keep the rain out as much as possible. But yeah, sheathing all on and taped. Next, we're basically just going to move on to the house and try to get that roof on and continue. We'll see how. Well, I wouldn't say we'll see how tomorrow goes because I know it's going to rain. So we'll see how this weekend goes.
So I hope you all enjoyed watching the sheathing go up on the garage. Like, subscribe, you know, so you can keep up with our progress. And I hope you guys watch the next ones.